Good morning, fifth graders, on this Tuesday morning after Easter. I hope you all had a nice weekend, and I hope I have worked out some of the kinks of this program that I'm doing your lessons on. So let's get started and go through your lesson today. Okay, you were to read Summer Night, this poem. I'll go through it real quickly and then we'll answer some questions. The city is full of street lights, stoplights, floodlights, making it hard to see the stars. But Ben and Louie are out this summer night at 10 p.m. in front of their apartment building, peering up at the sky anyway. Ben asks if that's the constellation Orion hovering over there just above that billboard. Louie shrugs because he doesn't know for sure. He asks how many light years to the edge of the universe and what's beyond the edge when you get there. If you could get there, which you probably can't, but if you could. Ben says he doesn't know for sure either. It's a vast place, the universe, but what's beyond it must be vaster still, and they know they should go inside and get ready for bed, but it's too wonderful out here below the faint glow of the stars, and they just can't. All right. Okay, on page 28, you're asked, what is the theme of the poem Summer Night? Use details from the poem to support your answer. Well, it seems as though the theme in Summer Night seems to be the idea that the universe is wonderful and limitless. We can identify with this. I'm sure we've often thought about how amazing the universe is. Louie and Ben are in awe of how vast or large the universe is and how much they don't know about it but wish they did. They know they should go inside to bed but can't pull themselves away from staring at the sky. All right, let's look at the next question. It says, in this lesson you used details from poems to identify their themes. Explain why this activity is important for understanding poetry in general. Well, when you use details from poems to help identify the theme, you can understand the mood of the poem. The poet uses special vocabulary and voice to help you understand feelings in the poem. For example, we feel Anna's fear of monsters in Anna's Monsters, and we sense the amazement the boys in Summer Nights are experiencing. All right, on the next page of your packet, you have a rough draft of an essay called Climbing Mount Whitney. I'm going to read it quickly and then we'll discuss the questions. California's Mount Whitney is the highest mountain in the United States outside of Alaska. Mount Whitney is 14,496 feet high. That's high, but not so high that it can't be climbed by a fit hiker. I read all about it in a library book, Climbing Mount Whitney. Last summer, I reached the summit of Mount Whitney. Yes, you can also do it, but you'll need some preparation. First of all, get in shape. The best training is climbing lower mountains or hills. Cycling, running, and walking up stairs are also good practice. Occasionally, do some activity like biking or inline skating for a really long time. Try skating for 30 or 40 miles or take a bike ride of 4 to 5 hours. Then try it with a backpack. Lack of oxygen at high elevations makes it harder to breathe. Get used to this by spending some time at high elevations just before you climb. If you do this, you've avoided the headaches and cramps that can trouble climbers at high elevations. Now that you're in shape and used to the height, rest. The day before your climb, take it easy. The night before your climb, eat a dinner of spaghetti, rice, or noodles. Finally, climbing day is here. You're rested and ready. Eat a light breakfast, then put on your sneakers, get your water and snacks, and head for the trail. Take it slow and steady. By the end of about 8 hours, you will have reached the top of Mount Whitney. At that moment, you'll be looking down on every other person in the continental United States. Wow, what could be cooler than that? That would indeed be cool. All right, let's look at number 23. It says, read this sentence from the essay. I read all about it in a library book, Climbing Mount Whitney. What is the correct way to write the title of the book? Okay, we have to make certain that when we write the title of a book, we write it in a certain way. So let's go back and see how they did it. Let's see. Right here, I read it all in a library book, Climbing Mount Whitney. Okay, so when we write the title of a book, we do want to italicize it, but we don't need to put those marks around it. So C would be your correct answer there. So C. Let me see if I can pull up my marker and put C. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. Here we go. C. Okay. All right. Okay, I've got to pause this for a minute. All right, next one, number 24. Read this sentence from the essay. Yes, you can also do it, but you'll need some preparation. Which of the following should replace the underlined part to make this sentence correct? Okay, so take what you've learned in class. I know Mr. Miller and Miss Nash have taught this. Look these over. They all say the same thing. They're just different punctuations. And then you mark which one you think it is. So take a minute to do that. Okay, I hope that you all marked B. Yes, you can do it. Yes, comma, you can also do it. All right, good. Now, let's look at 25. Read this sentence from the essay. If you do this, you avoided the headaches and cramps that can trouble climbers at high elevations. Well, we have to have subject-verb agreement here. And avoided is in the past, and this is in the future or present. If you do this, and it should be will avoid. It hasn't happened yet. If you do these things, you will avoid. And I believe they were talking about staying hydrated and resting and that. So will avoid is the correct way to say that. Okay, let me see if I can write this in here. All right. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute and we're going to go on to number 26. All right, number 26 says, read this sentence from the essay. By the end of about 8 hours, you will had reached the top of Mount Whitney. How should the underlined part be corrected? Well, again, this is that agreement aspect again. Had is in the past, had reached. That's in the past and this is in future. So how should the underlined part? Okay, so by the end of about 8 hours, you will have reached the top of Mount Whitney. So that would be D. So if you'll go ahead and mark D on that one, I hope that's the one you picked as well. All right, I know your teachers have taught you all about context clues and gone over this page with you. So we're going to jump to the independent practice and take a look at that. So it says, for centuries, people in coastal areas of China and Japan have harvested a superfood found in marine environments. Recent studies show that eating seaweed protects against infection. It also might reduce the risk of serious diseases and extend people's lifespans. If true, these would be important benefits. All right, let's look at number 1. It says, what does the word marine mean in this paragraph? Well, look at our choices. Very nutritious, dark blue in color, having to do with the ocean, member of the armed forces. All right, for centuries, people in coastal areas of China and Japan have harvested a superfood found in marine environments. And then they go on to talk about seaweed. So it seems to me, and I hope you agree, that marine has to do with having to do with the ocean. The coast is along the ocean. It's right along land and ocean, that's the coast. So having to do with the ocean is marine. And then which two words in the paragraph help you decide that? And I think we just talked about that, coastal and seaweed. Good. All right, let's look at the next one. Closer to home, you can find superfoods right in your garden or local store. Think crisp and crunchy. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and kale detoxify harmful substances. As a result, they may help to prevent some forms of cancer. These veggies are also low in calories and have lots of vitamins A, C, and K. So we have to decide, what do you think detoxify means? Does it mean to move in a wide circle, to chew food slowly, to make a difficult decision, to remove bad effects? Well, it's saying here that cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and kale detoxify harmful substances. So it sounds to me like it means to remove bad effects. All right. And the last one, number 4. Which two words from the paragraph help you understand the meaning of detoxify? Well, if it's removing bad effects, then our choices here are crisp and crunchy, prevent and cancer, veggies and substances, calories and vitamins. Well, the words that go along with what we're talking about are cancer and prevent. So if you would go ahead and circle B. My screen's not letting me do that because something's blocking it, but go ahead and circle B, prevent, and cancer. All right, and our last reading for today is on page 34. The Westfield Animal Shelter needs your help. We have outgrown our space here. Can you help us build a new shelter to protect our pets? Please make a donation to the Westfield Animal Shelter today. Even a small amount of money will help. Once we raise $10,000, we'll be able to begin construction. We at the shelter will be grateful for your generosity in giving. The animals will thank you for your kindness. Remember that each act of benevolence counts. All right, let's look at your page here, your chart. Your unknown word shelter. In the context, it says build a new shelter to protect our pets. And so we know from that, okay, so I typed in some of these rather than trying to write them while you're watching because the writing pen doesn't work very well. Okay, so shelter means, the context means build a new shelter to protect our pets. So the possible meaning is a place that gives protection. And the clues there from our reading was build a new shelter to protect pets. Donation, in the context it says please make a donation. So possible meaning is that something you give to help, and even a small amount will help, as the clue in the story. Benevolence, big word there. Each act of benevolence counts. Benevolence means generosity, and the clue there is your kindness. All right, well, that's it for today, guys. Again, if you have any questions, just reach out. Okay, thank you.